Hey everybody, it's Stippling Vaughn, and I'm here at my local bar on the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. And as you can see, remember yesterday's video? I talked about wanting to do this so the cloak pops out away from the body. And here's the thing, if I had a model posing this, you would see a slight shadow cast on the body here to separate the body from the cloak. So that's the reason why I've done this, and I'm just over exaggerating it. So, but I don't really need to go that far, that dark into it. Really, what I need to do is this nib that I'm using. If you look carefully, I'm using instead of using a nib like this, I'm putting the nib upside down. That's why I have these very fine dots, these very small dots. So I'm just going to put them in here. So we have that separation. So I'm going to address the 80-pound gorilla in the room, the white elephant. Anybody who's in the comics geek scene, a lot of times, uh, they they also are part of the law tube scene, and we all know what happened to Nick Rekieta. If you don't, Nick Rekieta was arrested this week for drug possession. Doesn't look good for him. Um, and I thought about how we've all been, if anybody was watching Nick Nikita, and you've seen the downward slide over the last 5 months, maybe 6 months. Um, it got to the point I stopped watching him about a month and a half ago because of how his streams were going. Um, I was going to talk about that in relation to my own fight with alcoholism and what I had to do to defeat it. And in many ways, in some ways, it's easy to argue I have not defeated it. But the timing's just not right. And me discussing my own demons, that's something I can bring up at another time. So the timing's wrong, in my opinion, to uh, discuss that. So I'm not going to. Uh, Later down the road. And the thing is even later down the road, if things go well, great. I'm doing my own version of relating my own experiences with it. If it goes bad, then it's like one of those like grifting off of or clout chasing, or you know what I'm saying. So, but right now, for me, it's just not the time. I know I've kind of mentioned it on the chat at times about me with alcoholism, mainly because when we discuss uh, the out of control drinking streams within the Comicsgate community. So, but right now for me, it's just not the time. Maybe down the road I will, and hopefully it doesn't happen to correspond with actions or the fall of other people at that time. So, no, what I want to discuss today with you guys is the art auction, which is the piece I'm working on for it. I've already started working. What I'm going to do this year is I'm going to, instead of having all the Lighthouse gift cards they hand out as auction stretch goals, I'm going to have trading cards, trading card artwork. So with this piece, let's say this piece starts at 20 and it goes up to like $30. At $30, I'll just automatically put in the Scout Investigators, get a lower shipping price for you guys, but then I'll also have a art card, and then maybe after that have a gift card, then another art card. So as it goes up, you get more art cards of original artwork. So I'm gonna try that. Maybe it'll go well. Maybe it won't. We'll find out. But I'm having fun doing this. I've got a couple done already. I don't have them on me because I'm at the dive bar. But I've got let's see here. I've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles done. I've got Chamber from Generation X done, and I have Tals from Star Wars done. So I've got those three done. The others I'm going to be working on is going to be I got two Groken cards that I'm going to be doing, an Optimus Prime. So we'll see how those go, and we'll just go from there. I think I'm going to work down here on this rock. So, oops, sorry about that. So we'll just do down here. And when I'm doing this rock, all I'm just doing is just hitting. I'm not methodically going in, and as you can see, just from like randomly hitting areas, you get a rocky texture in the pores, and then I'll go in and after I've created that, because you see how this rock is just a rock. It doesn't have any form, and I go in and I just slowly hit it with dots randomly, and it forms the the crevices and the bumps on it. So, but um, two campaigns I want to discuss is Aaron Lepresti's Kit Karter. He's almost done with it. He's got maybe like a dozen pages left to work on it, and then all it has to do is be inked, colored, lettered, and then it'll be going to print. So Aaron Lepresti is really becoming a true workhorse, and if he had to go back to doing a monthly book, he's one of those artists who could do it. So, but I mean, as he's discovering, he's making more money doing his own work, and I know he's got more satisfaction on it. He even jokes how it's one of those where it's like, from doing these campaigns, he has more original artwork now than he ever had working in the mainstream. Uh, so that's something that a lot of uh, that we really don't point out is, well, let me put it this way: some of the guys will brag about it, other guys don't. But some of these creators are discovering that they're more profitable doing their own books and making more money than when they're working for the mainstream. Which means the mainstream needs to take notice and be like, okay, what do we got? What do we have to pay our talent to have successful titles and books? Which most of them don't. They don't see that. They just look at like, how can we print this stuff off? How can we get this stuff made as cheaply as possible? So, and I don't see the industry changing at all with that. So, but no, Aaron's like almost done. He's still got to do the poster, and then he's saying he's anticipating sometime in June to go out to print, and so that's really good. Which means he's going to be starting up a new campaign in like July or August, which really comes down to like what's his next. I mean, oh, his next and he's going back to the Wraith of God when he starts his next campaign. I think it's the Wraith of God and the Deadly Hollows, which obviously it's the Haunted Horseman. So, but I'll be interested to see how that goes. Uh, Aaron is one of those creators within the crowdfunding scene that I back no matter what. I always back him. It's like that with Aaron with all of his campaigns since he started. And same thing with Graham Nolan. Those are the two creators that I back no matter what. I think Shane would fall in there also. I've been very impressed with Shane. Sometimes Shane rubs people the wrong way, specifically Mange Davis, and also when Shane drinks, which is something we have not seen a lot from Shane lately. I'm kind of glad we're not seeing that from Shane. I mean, there's nothing wrong with drinking, but he gets he gets a little out of control in my opinion. And like I said, it's like I look at that and it's like, it's kind of over that with me. So, but And that's also where it's like when you are habitually online with a lot of these creators streaming, you got to be aware of your actions on stream. You can't like, well, that's my private life. No, it's not your private life. Um, just as when you go out in a bar, your conduct judges who you are when you're sober versus when you're drunk. I've seen a lot of people where it's like when they're a great person, but when they got drunk, they're a completely different person. And then the next time they come into the bar, they are people's opinion of that person is now dictated by their conduct when they're drunk. So, again, I'm starting to get into that topic, and I didn't really want to, but but no, Aaron Lepresti, he is producing quality work with quality story, um, which almost begs a different. Here's the thing: you kind of wonder, like, well, how good would Aaron be if he was paying for someone like a Chuck Dixon or even a Brian Glass to create his scripts for him under his guidance, where he provides the plot. But from the compliments he's getting from writers, he doesn't need to, which is really good. Uh, that's a real like feather in Aaron's cap that he can produce a book that, by and large, comic book writing professionals compliment him on the results that he produces from his writing alone, not even considering the artwork. So, and then of course the other campaign I want to talk about is Graham Nolan's Monster Island, or not Monster Island, uh, Joe Frankenstein. Joe Frankenstein is the Eye of Ra has just been opened, and it's already at $30,000. It's very good for the first 24 hours. There's other creators who are former mainstream creators outside of the realm of CG that I do like, um, and they're not doing well. I know one artist who I do like. I looked at his latest campaign, and it's at like $2,000. And I look at it, and it's one of those where it's like, and this is where it's like you want to just like run over to him, like get online, start doing streams, but you can't dictate that to these creators. You can suggest it, you can try to motivate them to, but sometimes it's up to them for them to decide what do they need to do uh, to what do they need to do on their own for them to decide that they want to do that. Because there's some creators out there that, yeah, they may stumble and not do well in the beginning, but sometimes it's all about uh, sometimes it's all about them finding who they are, finding their voice. And with any former mainstream creator who's doing their own books and they're not sure how to get into the YouTube scene or streaming scene to generate an audience, my response is, you were in the industry for how long? You did how many books? Um, why don't you just pick out one of your books that you did your very beginning of your career and do a page flip through, and don't talk about the don't talk about the the story. Don't talk about uh, the pencils, or do talk about the pencils, but like talk about the work you did on that book. Okay, let's say it's a penciler. Talk about what you went through. What obstacles did you have to overcome doing that specific panel layout? Uh, did you have a editor who was on your back to get the job done faster? So you wanted to do a page layout like this, but because of time restraints, you had to do a page like this. I think that's a great way for these creators to promote themselves, and while they're promoting themselves, finding their voice and what makes them comfortable with the audience. So, and it's tricky. You want these guys. There's some of these creators out there. I want them to succeed, Hold on, guys. I gotta clean out this nib. This is the one thing I don't like about using FW ink is it cakes up in the nib, and then I gotta go in with my nail and like carve it. Which, yeah, I know it's not healthy for the nib, but so you see how. Okay, so you can see how you can see through the nib now. Beforehand, you couldn't because the ink was all gummed up in it. And I always notice that's what happens when you're using a new inkwell of FW as opposed to the ink at the very bottom of an FW uh, inkwell. So, but no, so I mean, I there's so many. So let's use David Finch. Okay, he's an extraordinary artist. Okay, and he doesn't need to do this. But let's say he wanted to he wanted to let's say he wasn't doing his drawing streams, and he just wanted to create a stream to garner an audience. Why not just pull out like an early issue of Top Cow that you did, and just go over it and like how like this wasn't necessarily the style that you wanted, but you were hired on because you're mimicking uh, someone else, another artist's style, even though if let's say the creator of the title, maybe that's the reason why he hired you is because you do you can mimic their style very well. We all know that there are a lot of image artists, not the founders of image, but a lot of the talent that they nurtured. The reason why they got their jobs is because they knew they could draw in a style that was like aping or the founder's style, such as Fraga with Liefeld or Scott Clark with Jim Lee. Okay, um, and then we could then go through that and how you were able to find your voice with your own style. Many times artists discover their own style by in the beginning uh, imitating other artists' styles. It's one of the faults I have is that I tried that in the beginning, and I was a little kid, and I would show it to my mom, and I'd show like the comic book that I was drawing it from. She was like, "Why don't you do your own thing?" She didn't understand that you learn by copying another artist's style. So that kind of hindered me. It still kind of hinders me because I don't like copying other artists' style. As a result, you can kind of take a look. I really don't have a per se style other than the stippling. The pencils themselves don't have much of a style to it. It's not till I add the dots that my style shows through. And that's the reason why, like when you see a box like this rock here, it doesn't have, all it is a circle. And it's not going to be until I go in here and start hitting the hell out of it with the dots that my style will start to develop. So, but so no, that's two books that I'd really say right now to focus on people that I am personally uh, I really enjoy is Graham Nolan and Aaron Lopresti. So we all know there's everybody has their favorites, and it's good to have favorites that are different from other people. So guys, I'm almost at 20 minutes, so it's much longer of a show than I was intending. I always try to keep my shows at 15 minutes. So you guys all have a great day. Remember, Shay's art auction is on the 13th of July. Make sure you check it out. I have her channel in the description, so that way you guys can subscribe to her channel, and that way you'll get notified. And make sure you click for notifications. That way, when she has the art auction, you'll be notified. But until then, guys, remember, life is stressful. Just take life one dot at a time.